Yeah. Snack time. Before dinner. Get my munch on right quick. I'm here. Get the blood sugar right. It's only right. Episode, excuse me, 62. Man, we floating through this, yo. We are in our 12th week of the tap-in. 60 episodes. 30 hours of content. Just like that. Like, it started off on a, let me try to do this open mic while driving. I didn't know how long I was going to last, but I know I was committed. Because the key, like today, I ain't really, it always, some days I'm inspired, other days, you know, it crosses my mind, like, especially if I'm listening to a good podcast, it crosses my mind, like, you know what? What if I just like, nah, I don't feel like doing it today. I'll do it tomorrow. Folks been rocking with me consistently for all these weeks. I just inexplicably just cut it off with no warning. Just put a dent in this consistency that I've been generating for the last 12 weeks. When I'm literally, this is like a super important message or conversation. And like I said, most people that call me, you know, they either, hey, what up, Yoli, the alphabet lord, YT, what's good? Most people that's calling me and hitting me up, it ain't nothing really important. If it's really important, people are either assalamu alaikum, walaikum salam. Hopefully I said that right. Walaikum salam. Nurbek Mamad Kulo. Dang, man, y'all be having the hardest. Just get some normal names, man. What's up with all, like, you see me, it just say Maurice Green or comedian Mo Green, just something simple. Y'all be having a whole Arabic dictionary as your name. That's like me. My profile name is ABCDEFGHIJKLMNOP QRSTUVWXYZ. Like, that's my name, and then I expect you guys to pronounce it. But with the exception of a couple of winter storms, I have not broken the pattern. The challenge is when I go, I'll be in, I'm going to next week and I'll be in Lake City. Wherever I'm at, even if I'm sitting still, I'm just going to, how's my day going? It's going well. The day is done. You know, I finished work and actually on my way to my lady's house right now. I just want to stop. This is a routine that I do on Wednesdays. I go to Big Y and I get myself lunch for the following day for work and pick up some goodies. I got to pick up maybe like a store-baked sliced cake, probably banana nut, because I only got like one slice of banana nut cake left, so I got to get some more. You sound big, like I'm a husky. I shouldn't be eating that type of stuff, but it's better than buying your baked goods from the aisle, which is usually in a packaging, which usually indicates that it is highly processed. Let me get myself a sandwich or something like that. Some chips, some. Not, I mean, Lay's are actually really, really good. I've been eating the Lay's chips a lot lately. I need a halt on that. But I'm still here, man. For those that know, I just created this because every day around this time, around 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, I'm leaving Springfield from work, and I'm on my way to Hartford, to Connecticut. And I always listen to content. I listen to content on my 45-minute ride to there. I'm in America. I'm in America, Northeast. What country are you broadcasting from? America. I'm in the Northeast area of the United States, Connecticut. Well, I'm in Massachusetts, Southern Massachusetts, but I'll be in Connecticut in like 15 minutes. But yeah, I always listen to podcasts on my way to work and on my way home from work. And I'm like, yes, I am a major content consumer. Well, with all the time that I spend in my vehicle going home, that's 45 minutes a day. And I've created content. I've done podcasts before, but it's like I always catch momentum. Like I had a podcast called The Light Spins Perspective. I did it on like 10 episodes. No, I'm sorry. I did like 26 episodes, something like that. And then I had a podcast called the Momentary Podcast. I think I'm about to bring that back, but I only did about 10 episodes of that. I never stayed consistent. For whatever reason, because, I set it up in my room. I got my little studio, my laptop, but the laptop was old. I definitely got to upgrade the laptop. The equipment is old. I've had it about 6 years. So it's about time I upgrade. I think within the next couple of paychecks, I'm about to revamp that whole setup. But for whatever reason, I would go hard for a few weeks and I would stop. Go hard for a few weeks and I would stop. And the whole thing is just staying consistent. Greetings from Uzbekistan. What's good? Nurbek. What up? I see Constance. That's the homie from CT. What up, Constance? Want to know your thoughts on Iran-U.S. war? My thoughts on that is I don't have much thoughts. I wish human beings wouldn't use violence to settle things with each other. We're supposed to be logical. We teach our children to handle things verbally. And if we just can't deal with each other, then don't deal with each other at all. I wish the same thing applied on a global scale. But when you have things like people trying to amass power and wanting oil in certain global positions, I guess just being civil and just using your words is not enough. Karkalowski, I'm on my way home. And for those of you guys that are popping in, man, thumbs up the video, share it, subscribe to my channel, click the bell for your notifications. I do this every day. Like, one thing I could say about a lot of these cats that do this long form content is they don't be consistent. I've been consistent. For the last 3 months, I've been consistent. Ask Constance. She'll tell you the truth. Oh, you in CT? Whereabouts in CT? Carter? Kalinowski? Whereabouts? Yeah, but you know what I mean? War is something that has been going on with humanity since as far as we have been writing and been conscious. I don't know English very well, but I'm writing with translation. Okay. That's all good. As long as you're able to translate. Do you understand English? Yeah. It's been happening. War's been happening as long as human history has been recorded. That's just something that human beings do. When they disagree, they just take each other's lives and they fight it. And it's unfortunate that that's how the world is. But I mean, you see it in humans, you see it in animals, you see it in insects. You even see it in like bacteria, like things when they don't agree, they just all fight each other. There's one thing trying to destroy something else. It's unfortunate, but so goes the universe, And just on a deep philosophical level, like, I think all of this is superficial. I think the government is superficial. I think religion is superficial. I think reality in itself is superficial, meaning when you zoom in, and I said this on one of my other podcasts, if you got like a magnifying glass or some type of technology to really, 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 really zoom in, you'll just see we're just composed of a bunch of dots and empty spaces held together by energy. Just a bunch of dots. It's just a bunch of dots. It's literally just a matrix. And our atoms, the way it's composed and puts us together, is giving us an illusion of consciousness and reality. That's just the way I see it. So I don't minimize or knock anybody with how they feel, but I just, I don't get too emotionally tied up into the world like that, man. It's like a video game. I'm gonna embrace this experience. Like I always say, life is not something that happens to you in spite of you. Life is an experience you should behold, so get to behold it. So I'm beholding the experience, and obviously I'm not a robot or a Vulcan, so things bother me when they bother me, and I get sad, happy, and all that good stuff. But I just try not to get too tied into the emotions, because I know it's all a facade. I know it's all temporary. I know it's constantly changing. Like this existence that whatever each of us individually are going through, this is the most important thing to us. But the thing is, we were something before we were this. So whatever that thing was before, that was the most important thing to us. We just don't have any memory of it. And then once this shell ends and we transliterate into something else, then that will be the most important thing to us. The whole thing is just not to get too emotionally tied into this specific experience. I see reality, I just see existence as just being in a movie theater with a whole bunch of different movies. And passing away, or what you call dying, to me is just going to another movie theater. And the cool thing about this movie theater is once you're finished this great, fantastic movie that you watch, when you go to the next theater to watch the next movie, you don't even remember what happened in the one before. So it's always a new, exciting experience every single time, and it goes eternally. I think if we had the ability to constantly remember our previous existences, I think reality would be completely boring. We would just know everything that happened every single time. Think about the greatest movie that you've ever watched and how it made you feel the first time that you watched it. It probably still makes you feel good every time you watch it, but it's not quite the same because you know everything that's going to happen. Now imagine when I first saw Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, I was blown away. I was like, wow. I was a little kid, but it was like, wow. As I got older, the special effects, the acting looked goofy, whatever. But if I could make myself forget that I ever saw that movie and watch it again, I would be just as excited as when I first saw it, or when I first saw Pulp Fiction, or when I first saw Clerks, or when I first saw Swingers. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get too caught up in this, man. I don't. I said in another video, the main problem with humanity in general is a scarcity mindset. We always feel like we're about to run out of something, and so we get desperate. We feel like we're about to run out of food and resources, so we try to control people, attack people. We feel like we're about to run out of life, so towards religion and tell people we got a way to save something that was not supposed to be eternal in one form. But we're going to try to say we got the answers. Like this book written by other men gives us the answer to salvage something that was never supposed to be in a static state. You look into the universe, look at everything. Nothing is static, meaning nothing is just this and never changes. It's always changing, always changing. It's like a pulse. When you see a star, like let's say a star starts off as a point that we say start off, but to me it was always happening. But it starts off as a point, it explodes, boom. You got the star and then planets and stuff coming from it. And eventually, becomes a red giant. And then it shrinks down and then it implodes back into itself. And then it repeats the process again. What else do you know does that same process of expand, collapse, expand, collapse, expand, collapse? First of all, your breathing does that. Your lungs are in a constant state of expanding, collapse, extending, Shawshank Redemption was fire. Me and my lady just watched it again the other day. But imagine if you forgot Shawshank Redemption and you watched it. It would be amazing every single time. And I think that's what happens when we transliterate and we come back, it's like I don't like to say come back as something else, but because like it's come back entails that you went somewhere. It ain't about coming back. We always here. We just transforming to different stuff. It's not about going anywhere, man. We always here. But anyway, expand, contract. And your lungs do that. What else does that? Your heart. Your heart pushes out pressure, pulls in. Pushes out, pulls in. So you see them stars expand, contract. Expand. Those stars are doing the same thing, exact thing that your heart does. Those stars are doing the same thing that your lungs are doing. Expand, contract. Expand, contract. You said, what's the Mexican lawnmower? I forget what that is. That's a joke. I know it's something. What's the Mexican lawnmower? Me and my mom just did the Mexican lawnmower. Please tell me what that is. I completely forget what that is. Tell me what that is. But that's all of the universe. Expand, contract. Your heart, expand, contract. Your lungs, expand, contract. And it's just happening infinitely. As below, the things that are happening within our body, it's the same thing happening on a higher level. It's funny you say when you zoom in and you see like I said, if you could have a machine that really zoom in, you'll see we're not even like solid space. We're just a bunch of marbles held together by energy, a bunch of little circles. And then when you look at this, when you look at up at the stars, what do you see? A bunch of spheres held together by energy. It's the same thing. As below, so above. The Mexican lawnmower? Oh, it's a breathing technique. Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. You got to break that down for me. So I just, like, people like they're so concerned about the land being taken over. First, the main thing that people are overly fearful about is just death, because death was taught to us as being a bad thing. The same people that taught us that death was a bad thing taught us that they had an answer to defeat it. Why couldn't somebody just teach us that death was just a part of life? And it's a cycle that we have eternally been going through. Death is the exhale of reality. Life or birth is the inhale. Death is the exhale. Birth is the inhale. And you constantly seeing birth. You're constantly seeing exhaling and inhaling. Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. You're constantly seeing this, man. But somebody had to teach us that it was a bad thing. They taught us it was a bad thing. One said, oh, when you die, you ain't going to be nothing. You're just going to not exist. The other one said, if you die and if you don't develop the right opinions about the man upstairs, he's going to burn you forever. So now you're scared of something that naturally happens because somebody taught you that it was a bad thing. Whereas if they never taught you that, you wouldn't think that way. You wouldn't be so anxious. You wouldn't be so compelled to try to convert people and make them listen to your way of believing. You only think that you only have a fear of death because somebody who was ignorant about reality or somebody that was being disingenuous taught you that shit. Excuse my language. That's the only reason why you fear it. Respect life, respect it, realize and recognize that things can go the wrong way, and appreciate the moment. It's just like when you get a car, you know your car ain't gonna last forever, but you're gonna put gas in it, you're gonna do the oil changes, you're gonna do the necessary maintenance to get as much out of this car as possible. You don't buy a car and be like, hey, it's gonna break down one day, so I'm gonna just drive fast and be reckless and not do my oil changes. No, you don't treat a car like that, so why treat your life like that? Same concept. It's the same thing. But this episode is practice, practice, practice. And the reason why I started this podcast, because this is my form of practice. I talk to you, whatever's on my heart. I practice my comedy. I may run bits. I don't actively run bits the way I used to, but the humor comes out when it's time. And I just saw, because I don't have as like, there's an open mic tonight, and I'm thinking about going, but I feel it. I feel kind of tired. I enjoy my time with my lady on Wednesday. If I'm motivated, you know what I'm saying? Like my head is shaved and everything, so I'm straight. I might go. I don't know. I could use the stage time because I got a show tomorrow on public access. It's another thing. Like people, when I drive through Springfield, people are always protesting the war and stuff like that. My question is, what is protesting a war in a liberal state? How is that going to change anything at all? I never saw the purpose, man. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't. There's people just need to do things in their life to make them feel like they're actually doing something great. I could assure you, every single individual that's always on that bridge, I bet you if I did an interview or a survey of every single last one of you, I can almost guarantee there is something more productive that they could be doing in their life to actually help themselves and their family, but they just want to virtue signal and stand on top of a bridge and protest towards people that agree with them. But that's me. But this is practice, man. You got to practice, yo. Whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. Give me a second. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, it requires repetition and it requires practice. But some people feel like they don't have time to practice, or if they know they're practicing, it takes away their motivation. So you got to trick yourself, man. And this is my way of tricking myself. If I roam every day, why not go on for 45 minutes? Spit that wisdom. Even if it's 5 minutes a day, whatever if you're a painter, a sculptor, you play the piano, or a writer, fitness, whatever. If you can't give yourself large time increments to perfect whatever it is that you're doing, give small, consistent increments. You know, give smaller, consistent increments, man. That shit crazy when like 18-wheelers be tailgating. Like this 18-wheeler is tailgating, and he got to be driving like 90 miles per hour. This dude's bugged out, man. Let me get around him, man. I can't. That motherfucker is moving, man. Like he literally, yeah. That was crazy. And you got to trick yourself into practice. The one thing about Karate Kid, part one, was when Mr. Miyagi decided he was going to teach Daniel's son karate. So he would go, like Mr. Miyagi, for those that never watched it, Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, young American dude who used to get moved from New Jersey to California, got bullied by a bunch of locals, and this old Asian handyman protected him from getting jumped one time after a Halloween party, and then wound up teaching him karate. He lived in like this nice, I don't know how to describe his home, but it had like the wood floors in the back and like a little Asian little fountains and stuff like that, big ass goldfish. It looked like something out of Okinawa, but it was in like San Francisco. And he taught Daniel's son how to fight, but the thing is, the way he would teach him, Daniel didn't realize he was learning, because he would have him come to the house, and this is a wax on. He would put wax. He had a whole bunch of classic cars, so he would wax on, put the wax on with the right hand with the wax, and then he would take it off, the wax on with the left hand. And then he had another one like sand the floor. He would get on the floor, sand. Right hand he would sand this way with counterclockwise circles. Left hand he would sand with counterclockwise circles. And then he had another one, paint the fence. He had to put it in his hand, go up like this, down like that, up like this, and he had to sweep the floor. He had a certain technique of sweeping the floor. So basically, Daniel, he didn't realize that he was actually training and practicing, because he was doing everyday things around the house, but he didn't realize he was practicing. And so he's like, man, Mr. Miyagi, I'm tired. I feel like you're just making me a slave. You know what I mean? What's really going on, man? Like, I'm not learning nothing. Mr. Miyagi got pissed off. He's like, show me sand the floor. So he went down and he's like, da, 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 da. He said he got up and he was like, okay, he did emotions, and then Mr. Miyagi throw a punch at him. Yeah. He's like, oh shit. He like, show me wax on, wax off. He tried to get down against him, stand up. So, Daniel would he would throw a punch at him, he would block it. Daniel was like, oh shit. He was like, show me paint the fence. And he was like, threw a punch at him, blocked it. He's like, show me everything. He was like, so he was like, wax on, wax off, sand the floor, paint the fence, paint the fence. So all this time, through the muscle memory of what he was doing with the cleaning, not only was he serving as a benefit to the teacher by getting a lot of chores done around his house, his home, he was developing the muscle memory for the defensive skills of karate. And that's how I treat this. We're practicing. I'm talking every day. I'm spitting that ism for you guys, but I'm noticing on stage I'm a lot more quicker. I'm a lot more quick with my analogies. I'm starting to see a lot more in my head. I don't write as much anymore. Talking is a lot easier for me. It wasn't hard before, but it's like that much more. I make analogies and connections, just how I made the Karate Kid connection, just like that. I make those connections so fast right now. And I gotta believe me just doing this podcast, this is a way of me practicing that's helped me get to that. I don't know what any of you do in your life as far as what you are trying to perfect, but if it's a bore for you to work on that craft or perfect it, you have to basically do other things that mimic the muscle memory and the mechanics of whatever it is that you're doing to perfect whatever it is that you're doing, So that's what I'm saying, practice, practice, practice. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, like I'm not consciously practicing. I'm talking to you guys. But this is developing my brain, developing my delivery, developing my timing, developing my enunciation. I think this definitely helps my enunciation because the thing is, especially if you're a stand-up comedian and you record yourself a lot, once you reproduce your videos and you get your captions, if you're talking with the mush mouth and talking too fast, you got to go in and edit a lot of captions. So I could be saying, yo, let me speak slower so that the audience understands me and can get my setups. But I'll be thinking, let me talk slower because when I reproduce this video, editing those captions is a bitch. Both have the same goal, but just different reasons. It don't matter which route. It doesn't matter why. The reason why I speak slower and clearer, the thing is that I do that so that I'm just a better all performer, a better speaker, a better communicator. Like if you're mumbling and people can't comprehend everything that you're saying, you're not doing a good job of communication. I think this app has definitely helped me with that. AI keeps saying I have like an aristocratic cadence. I'll take that. That's what I try to do. Like if you look at me, you wouldn't think that I have this ability to speak in this vernacular, but I do. But I can switch it up on some hood shit too. Like, you feel me? Because I'm an impressionist. I'm an impressionist. I do impressions, so it's nothing for me to switch up my steez, my vernacular. But yeah, just trick yourself into practice, man. If we're trying to get back into fitness, like you want to start running more or whatever. Like when I first got into jogging, I used to work at the Cheesecake Factory in West Hartford. They don't got no close parking. Like I used to park at this park. I love that freaking double word, whatever. Park. I used to park at this park, and it was like 2 blocks away from the job. And this girl I used to work with, she used to always tell me how she was running. She used to run a lot. You know what I mean? Running like 5 miles a day. So what I started doing, because I used to be late a lot, but this is not why I started running. When I was done from work, it would be kind of chilly, so I would jog from the job. It would be like a 3-minute jog. I would jog from the job at a decent pace back to my car. And me doing that every single day that I worked, that actually put it in me and made me realize that I could run for pretty long distances. Because in college, even though I'm a bigger guy, I was a sprinter and a long jumper and a triple jumper in college. So I was a lot smaller. Still had a pot belly for some strange reason, but I was a lot slimmer and I was all about speed. I never had the endurance. Me, even though it was like a 3 or 4 minute trot from my job to my car, from the Cheesecake Factory to that park. Like, if you know anything about West Hartford, there's like a park on Trout, like I think it's on the corner of Trout Brook and West Boulevard. And the Cheesesteak Factory, that's, you know what I mean? That's like, anybody that knows. It's about a little 3 or 4 minute run. I did that for a few days and then I realized, yo, I could actually do this. And then honestly, when I really got into running, I got to the point where I was able to, I can't do it now, but I was able to run for like 10 miles nonstop, man. But it all started from those small building blocks. I'm running with my work clothes on, I got the tie, I got the white pants, the button up shirt, and I'm running back to the car every day running. And then pretty soon I was like, yo, you know what? I can run around a block. I can run 2 blocks, and I can run 3 blocks. And then I just started challenging myself. Like, once I really got into it, man, I was running, boy. Getting in great shape. I need to get back into that. If I told my girl saw this right now, she'd be so happy because she run all the time. So that's a situation where it went from me just jogging to my car to basically inadvertently training myself to do something that I used to hate doing, running. So it's all about just tricking yourselves, man. I can't tell you the end because, like I said, I don't know what any of you friends do as far as your fitness and as far as your endeavors. I don't know anything. It's up for you to figure that out. Or if you want to hit my socials and inbox me, tell me what it is that you do. Maybe I can give you some ideas to help you out, give you a different perspective, like I always say, to get you to practice without consciously practicing. I have no problem with trying to help with that. But yeah, I don't really get caught up with the superficial things in reality, and pretty much everything in reality is superficial if you think about it. I just don't. I'm just observing this experience, enjoying it as much as I can. And when it comes to me going to the next experience, I'm going to enjoy that as well. As I tell all my young and up-and-coming comedians, there is no such thing as writer's block. If the comedy gods have not given you anything new to scribe, that is their way of telling you to work on the things that they already gave you. Stay away from the nonsense. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from the gossips. Stay away from the foolishness. Focus on the funny and lead with love. Life is not something that happens in spite of you. Life is an experience to behold, so get to behold it. With that being said, tomorrow's Dirty Thursdays, and I got a show tomorrow night, 2 public access. It's crazy because I'm about to be dirty, and I am going to be dirty, but I still got to do public access. Hey, but it's all good. It is what it is. Me as a comedian, there's going to be times when I'm going to be doing these cruise ships where I got to do a clean show in the morning, dirty show at night, and a clean show the next day. So I got to be able to, my brain got to be able to shift here and shift here at a dime. That's why I get paid $500+ for 30 or 40 minutes. Yeah. All right. Peace.